Hello everyone. Today we are going to review the X300 Quadcopter drone. This quadcopter has plenty of new and exciting features that I'm sure many of you will find very interesting. So here's the box and we're going to open it up. This will be pretty brief. It has a lot of it already set up, but we're going to unbox this just briefly. Here we go. There it is. The quadcopter there. So now we had already put this together. We had set some of this up already, with the FPV screen and the controller. And well, first off, obviously it comes with the propellers already assembled and on, and it does come with an extra set of propellers, and so that's that. We have the blade guards, set of blade guards. We have the transmitter with the FPV screen that has a sunshade and an antenna. And it has a little screw-in mount that we put on in order to hold the FPV screen. Here are the extra propellers. And here we have a screwdriver here to screw on the extra propellers or any other miscellaneous things. We have a charger for the FPV screen, which basically plugs in at the bottom here, and then the other side is a USB. You can use a wall adapter for this to charge it against the wall if you need. It doesn't come with one. Then you have this little USB stick that has a 4 gig memory card or SD card, but I have already put it in the quadcopter and I'll show you how that works. That's kind of interesting. And then of course you have the balance charger for it, and it comes like in 2 parts. It actually has this little white box and the balance charger, and then the actual charge that you plug against the wall. Now it did come with, my version came with an adapter, US adapter, but it might have been packaged in there by the company I ordered it from. But yeah, just be aware that it comes with a European charger, and you may need an adapter. So now let's look at the quadcopter, a couple of details on it. Now this quadcopter has a 2000 milliamp battery, kind of like a somewhat smart battery. Well, if you plug it in, the quadcopter will show you the red bars of how much charge it has. But so as you can see here, 2000 milliamp 7.4 volt battery. And then this part is pretty nifty on the quadcopter. You can see the camera with its transmitter antenna for the FPV, but if you notice here, you can actually remove it, and it's like a module, and it has here, you can put the SD card right here. Right here is where you put the SD card. And then here's the camera. And one little detail about this camera is that it seems like it's somewhat angled upwards. And so a lot of your video is going to have the propellers in it, and there's no way to change the angle on this. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it's good that it's aimed a little upwards, because when you pitch down, you get to see the forward view a little better. The horizon, but on the flip side, you get to see some propeller wash. All right, so everything's kind of set up there, and we're just gonna fly it around for a little bit. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and we'll discuss a couple of interesting details about it as we go, and you'll also get to see some SD card footage as well. And as you can see right off the bat, it has interesting lights on it. It has a good FPV screen with long range. and it has an additional screen with information on the transmitter of you know, rates and voltage and things of that nature. FPV screen, and you can see it has full charge. The camera module, 3-bladed props, and so we'll review some of this right now. Now, the main interesting detail about this quadcopter is that it has something called optical positioning, as you can see advertised on the box. So it's not a GPS quadcopter, and it's not a brushless quadcopter. It's still somewhat considered toy grade, but it does have an excellent flight time of around 16 minutes. And on top of that, this optical positioning allows it to stay in a stationary spot, provided that you're pretty close to the ground, and it stays in a perfect hover. So we're gonna look at that right now. So let's take it for a quick flight. Now, to bind the quadcopter, you have to raise up and then down until it beeps. Right now we've already bound it, so it's already bound to the quadcopter. And you can also tell when you see the propeller spinning on the LED there. And we have our FPV view on there. So you arm the motors by going down and out, or by pushing the 1-button takeoff button right here. You have your photo button, and if you long press it, you take video. You've got your trim controls. You've got your throttle and rudder, headless mode, and flip button right there. So you got all the controls that you could ever possibly need. Now, when you push the auto takeoff button, you have to make sure the propellers are not armed. If not, it won't take off. If the propellers are armed, that button will be ineffective. And then when you want to land, you press this button and hold it down, and it will auto land. So that's basically it. Let's take her off. Let's take her up, and you could see her float for a little bit. Let's do that. Let's use the auto takeoff. Here we go. As you can see, this thing is perfectly stable. It's just gliding there. I'll lower just a little bit. This is an altitude hold quadcopter, as you can see there. No hands on the controls. And it is just perfectly hovering there. Indoors. No problems at all. So we're going to take her outside to fly her around. Few final thoughts on the X300 quadcopter is that the optical positioning only works a few feet, 8 to 10 feet off the ground, and it works pretty well indoors and adds that extra stability. But as you go into higher altitudes or outdoor terrains, it doesn't quite hold as well, but it is a neat little feature nonetheless. This is a very durable quadcopter. It has crashed a couple times and has nearly no damage at all. Might have a couple of scratches, but it's very durable, including the propellers. They don't come off that easy, and they may bend a little bit, but they don't damage. It is a smooth flyer. Going back to the crashes, if it does crash, we did notice that the battery compartment does come loose pretty easily, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. Good from the point of view that it will disable the quadcopter and the rotors won't continue spinning and it won't fly away. But it might be bad in the sense that if it fell in some bushes and you're trying to locate it with the FPV screen, or you're trying to, locate it or get a signal or something, it won't have the battery on it. So that's something to keep in mind. The lights are very bright and visible, so it's definitely an excellent night flyer. And keep in mind, it's not a GPS quad. It's a, it's a regular hobby/toy grade quad. So, it will drift, and if there's heavy winds, it will definitely go in that direction. So keep that in mind, that you have to, even though it has an FPV screen and you can fly it that way, you should definitely keep track of it and where it's flying to, and what it's doing. The transmitter is excellent. It's XK's typical transmitter design, classic design, and you've got your rates. You've got 3 rates: 60, 80, and 100. If you've got heavier wind conditions, it's probably recommended to have 100, so that way you could fight the winds a little better. As 40 is kind of like an indoor or very very low wind environment. If you go in that rate, or if you're a novice. And you got your flips, which are very cool, and your headless mode, and your photo and video, and your auto takeoff, auto land, and your trims. You're definitely probably gonna have to trim it a little bit each flight, because there's always that tendency to drift in one direction or not. So, but other than that, it is a great quadcopter. The battery life is great. It's been like 14 through maybe 16 minutes worth of flight. And these rubbery legs at the bottom are excellent. If you have a rough landing, or if it dips down a bit, it tends to bounce a little bit, but the legs are real sturdy and resilient. The camera is pretty good quality, and the FPV range is very good. You can go pretty far, and you won't lose signal on your transmitter. So it's a great quadcopter. Does the job. So check it out. Thanks.